Stephanie O'Brien Martin here with Moved by Purpose. Thank you for joining in on Breaking Free and Owning Me today. I am very excited for this caller. She is actually a personal and business connection of mine and stepped up to be a caller to receive some breakthrough in an area that I'm sure many of you guys have dealt with or are dealing with. So do you find that you need approval or outside validation? You need everybody to like you and to accept you. Do you find that when you post something on social media or present your work or share your work that you start giving into self-doubt or being overcome by self-doubt until you get that feedback from others to tell you how good it is, how much they like it, and you feed off of the praise of other people? If you can relate to any of that, this call is great for you because I coach the caller, Lisa, through how to let that go. What's happening is that there may be some competing intentions between the ego that wants acceptance of everybody and everybody to like her and the authentic self, which feels called to be a light, to share a message, to heal hurting hearts, whatever that is. So I'm going to expound more on that, obviously, in the call, and then I'm going to give some exercises and review some of the steps I walked Lisa through at the end of this video and this coaching call, and there will be a worksheet for you to work through yourselves if you find that you can be stuck in the same place. Without any further delay, here's my call with Lisa. Welcome to the show, Lisa. It is such an honor to have you on today. How can I support you?
Hi, Stephanie. I'm looking for guidance I've always, as a young child, realized that I've needed validation and reassurance from people. And I find going through my journey and now really building a business and the entrepreneur that I am, I'm finding the hurdles and the barriers there because I can't make the bold decisions that I need to make to move forth in my business unless I'm getting that validation. So I feel that since I've been a child, it's always been my fix. And if I don't get it, I don't know how to go within to discover that. So I'm hoping you can help me with steps and things to really create this breakthrough.
Okay. So I want to clarify. So you've never been able to do this on your own, or do you have any tools, and have you ever had success finding it, or you cannot remember?
I may have here or there, but it always plummets down. Like, it's always my worth is valued on what people think of me, the recognition, the lack of it. If there's lack of it, that's where the lack of confidence comes in.
So there's this is very common. I don't know how natural it is for people, at least who I have worked with in my personal experience, to be able to naturally know how to have validation from the inside out versus from the outside in. And so now you're recognizing, so I want to acknowledge that you're tuning into, okay, I can't be seeking external reassurance, validation, acceptance all the time. It's got to come from me. So I just want to acknowledge that. Congratulations, because a lot of people are not even aware of the need to shift that. Okay. So there are a number of tools that you can use, steps you can take. And I know you more personally, and that you are very much into personal development. So have you learned anything before? I know you said that you've tried it and then it hasn't worked. Can you walk me through what you've done?
I feel that one of my biggest struggles with my business is expanding my brand, and social media is the main game. And I find that I'm looking for validation, likes, comments, versus actually branding myself authentically. And I feel like I try to post things authentically and I try to do that, but at the same time, I'm trying to get a fix of getting people's attention and getting the comments and getting the likes. So I'm struggling with that authentically as a person now, because I'm finding that that is like my drug. And I'm constantly on my phone. I'm constantly distracted. If I am thinking of something that I want to post, if I don't post it, it's in my head for hours until I do that. So I feel like that's where a really big hurdle has been for me since I've started my business, which is geared more around social media and building a social network. And so that's where I find that I can do it for a couple of days or so, but then I go back. So there's some days where I can post or I can get, without having to see the results necessarily, or the reassurance or validation that my posts are working or I'm building my brand or even the sales or anything like that. But then there's one thing and it can trigger me and I go the other way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what triggers you? What there's one thing and it can trigger you. Can you explain what one of those things could be?
I think one of them is definitely posting something and not getting that reassurance, not getting any results from that whatsoever. With my business, I've had to really struggle with not allowing my title and my rank to define who I am. And so I've worked through that. And so I feel like there's been, as you said, the personal development side of me. There's been a lot of things I've learned along the way, but I feel like this is that one thing that I just cannot grasp.
Mm. Well, you can.
Okay, thank you.
You can and you will. You just haven't
Yes.
seen how.
Okay.
So I want to change the language there.
Okay.
Okay. So you mentioned from childhood. Where do you think this comes from?
I really digging deep. I mean, I can think of times where my mom always expressed to us, "Don't embarrass me, don't embarrass me, don't embarrass me." It was always about what other people thought of us. It wasn't really what the truth was. It was how people perceived us. I can remember vividly, because I was a total athlete growing up and playing on sports teams, I always compared myself to people. And so the comparison of playing with other people at a different caliber would always make me feel less than. And so therefore, if I was, if I had a great catch, I had to have that validation. So I felt like I was as good enough as those people. So I've always struggled with comparison too. And I've started to more so compare myself to yesterday's self versus comparing myself to other people. So I do feel that there's a little bit of a growth there too. But looking back, I really think it's the people pleasing and always worrying what other people think, and always having to feel like I had to be the best to have any kind of recognition. When I'm going for that recognition, when I'm going for that validation, the only way to get that is if you're the best. So I think in my head, that's what I heard. That's not true, but I always strive to be the best at everything. And then when I didn't, I'd fall. And so that's a big trigger for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you say that it's not true, that the limiting, you said the story right there, that like I have to be the best to be validated or worthy. And if I'm not the best, then I'm not worthy. So yes, it's very understandable why you would get those triggers if you're not number one on top of everything all the time. I'm just curious, do you approach goals with high attachment?
Emotional attachment, no, I've let go of that. Okay. I really have. I've learned my lesson.
Okay, good.
So definitely move past that. No, there's no emotional attachment to my goals anymore. It's more of a guideline of what to do for that month or for that goal to achieve it. But if I don't, I just figure out what I didn't do right and change it up next time.
Okay.
And use it more as of a learning experience.
Okay. And how did you shift that?
I said I got sick and tired of having to scrape myself off the floor, having someone else scrape me off the floor when I was devastated from not meeting a goal. I couldn't do it anymore. My family was suffering. I have 2 little girls, and I know that I need to set an example and really show them what's possible, and also what can be created when you shift your mindset. And so that was where I really started to realize that goals are to keep me inspired, to keep me ambitious, but they can't be it can't be the end story for me.
Okay. So you had success doing that. It's like you made a decision to really once and for all let the story go and stop picking it up. You were tired picking it up. It hurt too much. You saw like it no longer benefited you. People hold on. I'm sure you've heard this before. People hold on to things that are actually not good for them because there's a payoff for them. So you reached a point where that payoff was no longer serving you. So you released it. That the consequences of holding on to it were far more painful than the benefit of holding on to it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. Yes, I am with you.
So what's the payoff to the outside in validation?
The one word I hear right now is attention.
Attention. Okay. So you get attention, or you feel that if you let go, like walk me through what attention means and how that's.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I just hear it.
Okay.
It just came to me all of a sudden. I'm not sure what exactly that means. To kind of break it down, I think it's that I'm not sure. It's not there. Sorry.
So that's okay. What I think might be happening is your inner, I'm going to use psychobabble here.
That's fine.
Your child.
Yes.
Your inner girl is craving attention. And you may not have gotten that validation and attention from a parent. It may have been your mother. I'm not sure what one, maybe both. And does that sound correct? Okay.
I don't believe it was my mother.
Okay. So it was another.
My mom worked full time, but my dad and I did not have a relationship at all. My dad doesn't know how to have a relationship with me.
Okay.
Though we have a better relationship now that we're both adults, but growing up, I didn't know my dad.
Okay. And when we feel that void, it's a massive void that we carry into as adults until I call it deal and heal.
Okay.
We deal with it, we heal from it. And it can really affect how we function in our everyday life, how we operate. It affects our emotions and our relationships with just about everything, including ourselves, our bodies, money, food. Like it can come up and manifest in all kinds of weird ways. For you, it's coming up with the business. And so psychologically, your inner child wants attention. You're thinking it's the acceptance and the validation. It's almost like there's maybe a misdiagnosis happening where it's really like you're feeling a void from not getting that attention, perhaps even affection. So here's how you shift it.
Yay. Okay.
You need to honestly give yourself attention. Like you tune into that. So when you notice the trigger, that trigger now is a sign. It's like a bell.
Okay.
And you slow down, and you really need to kind of get into a meditative state and just ask either God to reveal this to you, or, you know, your inner wisdom to speak to you and say, what do you need right now? You ask yourself, what do you need right now? Or God, what do I need right now? And allow that truth to come forth. And then you can give that to yourself. So if you need attention, it's like, okay, then what is it that I need attention with? Do I, you know, and certain things can come up. Do you carry stress in your body? Like all of us do?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you carry stress in your body?
My stomach.
Your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Are there particular things that happen that trigger gut discomfort, stomach discomfort, more often than other
Well,
things?
when I'm anxious, you know, definitely when I'm anxious, when things are bad, when I'm, you know, sad or upset or something that's happening in my life, I can't eat. So it's definitely, yeah, it's my stomach.
Okay. And what do you think? Um, what do you think needs the most attention, or why did you crave that as a kid?
Um, well, I probably wanted to feel special and feel loved. Um, yeah, I probably wanted to feel special and loved.
Okay. And how can you make yourself feel special and loved?
I have no idea. Just being honest here.
Okay. So if you could just, if you did know, what what would it be?
I'm blank right now. I got nothing.
Okay. So I'll draw this out because it's there. It's in there. So how can you make yourself feel loved and special? So how do you love your children? How do you make your children feel loved and special?
Oh, I give them attention. I spend time with them. I love them. I remind them, you know, mistakes are mistakes and it's okay. I encourage them. I empower them. And I'm present.
Okay. And can you do that for you?
Yes.
So you know how to make yourself feel
Uh-huh.
loved and special. Because if you know how to do it for others, you just, okay, turn it to yourself. I don't know if you've ever heard, like, if you're kind of stuck in a problem and confused, to kind of step outside of that and say, what would I tell a really close friend right now? And then you're like, okay, I am that close friend. I'm going to go follow that.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, my little girls feel loved and special when I do this. So your inner girl who needed that as a child, who didn't get that from your father, now needs that from you. So you get to be that loving parent that you didn't have in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you start feeling that inside out life.
Okay.
How, how are you feeling? Questions? What's going on?
No, I mean, I think the more you've explained it, like I do affirmations every day. I give myself, I definitely focus more on gratitude, you know. So I do feel that there has been, a major mindset shift even within myself, where I don't really allow myself to do negative self-talk or pull myself down per se. But it's still that I don't think I still feel that love. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I'm going through the motions. I feel like I'm doing it all, but I still feel like I need that fix. There's still like, I need that approval. I need that validation. I need it. And
Okay, you're saying this. I need to stop you as you're saying.
Okay.
I know you feel very strongly that you need it. And I get that because I had the same stuff going on, like with, like, I need my father's approval or whatever that is. And it feels, because you've carried that for so long, it feels absolutely true. But you really got to ask yourself, is this true? Do I really need it? Ask yourself that, and I want you to pay attention to what your body's doing right now when you challenge that belief. When you ask, is this true? Say this. So, I need other people's approval.
I need other people's approval.
And feel how that feels. Like, notice how that feels in your body. And then you ask yourself, is this true?
Is this true?
And are you noticing a resistance or a tension at all? Okay. So, because that your ego doesn't want to let that go. Because you're attached to it somehow. There's some kind of stronghold or something there that really believes that you really need it. And when you challenge it with, is this true? When the even possibility of no, there's almost like a, well, that's not true. Yes, it is. Like, you want to argue with it. Did you want to say something?
I was just going to say, like, the tension was more like, as I said it, it didn't even seem real as I was saying it. Like, the answer was no right away, but I still felt like I needed it. So yeah, like that, like there's still a hold.
Yeah. That's what I meant by notice the tension, because you're going to get the answer no. It's not true. You don't need it. But there's something that's been just embedded for so long that it's very hard to let that go and release it. You can, and you will.
Okay.
But it takes some time. So this, like, I'll give you some practices to work through, like, letting this grip get looser and looser. It may take some time to, like, loosen this off.
Okay.
But paying attention to that, because there's, like, I want to get to the attachment here, though. Is this true? So what do you lose? What do you think you lose when you say, is this true? And it's no. What is the resistance? What's the fear? The letting that go, what does that mean?
That I can be myself, but I'm afraid people won't accept me.
Okay. And have you accepted you?
Yes.
Okay. You accept you.
Yes. And that's why I feel the breakthrough is I want to just let go, but I don't know how to let go of the approval and the acceptance of other people for me just to go out and be me.
Okay.
Is that making sense?
It is, but it's that grip, that thing, that belief that you need their approval. It's not true. So let's just keep focusing here. Okay. So you say, I need other people's approval. Is this true? You challenge it. No. You notice a physical, and you can walk through this every day. Like, take this, what I'm teaching you, and like apply it. like whenever you notice triggers.
Okay.
No, but you feel a resistance. So dig a little bit more. What am I afraid of? Coax that little girl, like comfort. You are a mother of little girls. You know, like, okay, how do I soothe this inner child right now? What is she afraid of? What am I afraid of? What does letting this go mean?
Okay.
And keep like going in there. Keep, you know, and offer words of comfort, words of affirmation, words of encouragement, words of assurance. It's okay. It's just change. It's not scary. It's just change.
Okay.
Change feels scary, but if you lead with the "this is scary," you just say it's not scary. It's just change.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm ready for the change. That's why,
Okay.
I am ready for it.
Okay, good. So what else do you think letting go may mean?
Success has always been a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel that letting go would let my dreams per se go, because I feel that, and it's mainly the trigger social media for me for some reason. And I think it's because of that validation and the reassurance. And I feel that if I didn't have to be on social media all the time, that I could be more myself. Whereas I feel that there's a stronghold of the success that that will allow me to have what I want per se with doing this, but it doesn't 100% feel aligned to who I am. I do believe that my business is definitely a platform for me to make an impact, to help people believe in themselves, find the confidence. But the way I'm trying to do it, it's just not aligned. And that's where I think the biggest barrier is for me.
Okay. So I want to repeat some words I heard you say, which are very big clues here. I heard you say something, I really wish I wrote it down, but I wanted to be present and not focused on that. I feel like I have to do social media. You said words I listen to is have to.
Okay.
Have to means there's a force energy, not a flow.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should, ought to. These are all words I hear or listen for because that's out of alignment. You know you're out of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have the answers and you already know what you need to do. You already know what you need to let go.
But that's where I don't know how to build. Like, I don't know how to continue to build a platform and be able to make an impact, because social media is such a way to work smarter, not harder. It's a way to,
Whoa. Sorry. Lots of stories right there. Okay. Social media is a way to work smarter, not harder. Is that true if it's out of alignment?
No.
Thank you. Okay. I had the story. I was called out by my coach when I was like, oh yeah, I should like offer all of these promotional discounts because I have this goal of getting out of debt and some money's better than no money. She totally called me on that. She's like, is that true? Some money is better than no money? I said, heck no, no way. Taking any type of money for any type of job is not better than no money or at all. So, yeah. So are you ready to let that go?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let that go. What other things do you need to let go of?
I think with my experience with my business of the last 3 years, the way I started was my fiend was being fixed. I was at the top of the company. I was getting the attention, the recognition, And as the business continued to grow and bring in people that were more experienced, were, more expanded with their networks, they started to really move up the ranks. And I felt like I was left behind. And I feel like I've been on this hamster wheel trying to keep up because I don't feel like I'm good enough. So I feel like I'm always comparing myself to who I think I should be, even though I know I don't necessarily want to be that person, because I want to be authentically myself. But that's where I struggle with wanting the attention, wanting the recognition. And so I'm doing this, and it's a constant battle.
Yeah.
Constant battle.
Yeah. And I was set free from that this summer. I'm very familiar with that pattern. And it is so freeing to let it go.
And I truly feel like those are the things that have been holding me back. And I feel even at peace right now since I just shared that with you.
Yeah. Let it come to the light, out of the darkness into the light, so it can be cast out, or, just releases. So I'm seeing a circle of how this all can be connected. You mentioned the word authenticity, and then the word attention came to mind. What I feel like is happening is you are not giving your authentic self attention.
Okay.
And you are acting based off of this external validation. I need to compare and just compete and do, be number top. And you are completely neglecting your authentic brilliance and thinking that this is going to feed that, when it's the choice to surrender and release, let all of that go, walk away from it, and really just give your authentic brilliance the celebration and attention it has been crying out to get from you. How are you feeling?
There's like a wall. Like there was something immediately, like I was listening to you, but I couldn't feel. It was immediate wall.
Okay. So
Sorry.
there's a resistance that still wants to hold on to that, and to hold on to the external. It's like, I think you're grasping. It's like, I heard 2 foot in a canoe. You have competing intentions. Okay, so I'm going to give you an exercise to write a list of competing intentions. You have the intention on one side of this list. You write the intention of, I want to be number one and best and top. I want everybody to like me and accept me. I want to be validated by all people all the time, whatever that,
Okay.
Whatever. And then also just really tune in. And that intention is more of an ego-driven, fear-based intention. And then I want you to tune into your soul or spirit or who God made you to be. And that intention is going to be, I want to be my authentic self. I want to show up and serve and be a bright light. I want to just be a powerhouse and transform lives. Guess what? You cannot do that if you're holding on to this. Okay. Hold on. We got audio suddenly stopping.
Yeah, there was no sound.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. No, that was weird and it played back. But we're good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's a different mic. It's you sound different.
Okay. Better? No?
Mm-mm. You sound muffled and far away.
Okay, let me unplug my mic.
Okay.
Hopefully that doesn't mess this thing up.
It's gone. Nothing. Oh, you're good. You're good. You're back.
Okay. So I just unplugged the mic. Hopefully we're good. All right.
Okay. So edit record.
Oh, we're good. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, so you're trying to hold on to 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to decide, what is more important to you?
To be my authentic self.
Okay. Feel into that. Who would you be if you let all of that go?
I believe I'd be a vessel and a messenger. And I believe that I would be spreading the light. And I believe that I would be sharing the good news.
And how does it feel when you talk about that?
It scares me.
Okay. What scares you about it?
Because I used to judge people like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid what people are going to think of me. Because I remember how I felt about them.
Okay. So let's shift some of this. Because there's a wound that needs healing in that. When you think of people that have a message to share, specifically the good news, the gospel, that triggers stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but what if you maybe reframe it? Maybe you could come up with a different language so you're not as triggered, and that can help.
Okay.
Like specifically for me, whenever it comes to like the language of I need to market or do a launch or a campaign, I get like really shut down. But when I shifted it and say, you know what, how can I share this piece of work I'm really excited about? Or how can I just help let people know and spread the word? That doesn't trigger me.
Okay.
It's the same thing, but my mind needs a different word because of whatever is associated with that word in my brain. There's a wound that's still in process of healing, and until that is worked through, I need a different language so that isn't provoked. Because the moment I hear the word marketing, I shut down and all creativity stops.
Okay.
Because I have wounds from past launches or marketing campaigns that did not go well, and I had a high attachment to it. It was devastating to me, and I'm still working that healing out. So I had to reframe it because I still have stuff to get out there and share with others. And so I just say, okay, I'm going to share this with others. I'm going to help spread the word and just enthusiastically and authentically and excitedly let people know. So, what can you change? How can you change it? What words would work for you?
Well, I want to share my experience and my story without pushing it on people. And so I think that's my thing is I know that I can do it this way and I can respect other people's boundaries and not push anything or make them feel like they're wrong or not doing something right in their life. But at the same time, I worry about what people are going to say and not getting that validation and not getting that reassurance that, wow, Lisa, you're doing something great or this makes sense or whatever, because that's where I just want to go out and say what's on my mind. But if I don't get that reassurance, then I'm going to think that what I have to say is null and void or not important, which I know isn't true. I already heard it's not true. That's a lie I'm telling myself. But that's something that I still obviously hold on to.
So what does not getting that validation mean? Let's walk this out. Let's play the worst case scenario game. We'll just play it out till you're dead.
Okay.
You're just like, so let's say you just feel so inspired. You're full of life. You have to open your mouth and share this thing. Mm-hmm. And then what you fear, the person gets defensive, rejects it, gets annoyed with it, walks away from you, whatever. Okay. Then what happens? What does that mean?
I don't know. I think I fear it. It's never happened before. I just fear it.
No, we got to play out. There's a movie playing out in your head, which stops you. So we got to take this as far as it
Okay.
So this happened.
Okay. And so it happened.
Then what? What does it mean?
Oh, I'd be embarrassed.
Okay.
And I would lose my confidence. I wouldn't lose my confidence, but I feel that I would definitely be triggered, and I would question a lot of things that are my beliefs in that because of people saying it's not true. Saying, you know, to trust without being able to see is a scary thing. So when you trust and you give that all, but then you have someone else saying it's not true, then I feel like it would almost contradict, or I would start questioning myself.
Okay.
Probably. That's
Okay.
how I'm feeling right now.
Okay. All right, so let's keep playing this out. As you're talking, how does this all sound? As you say this out loud, does it feel as scary as it does when you just keep it in your head?
No, not at all.
Yeah. So let's keep playing this out. Okay, so you get embarrassed, and then someone challenges you, and then you question, oh, your baby faith is a little bit challenged and rocked. Do you trust that you'll get through that?
Yes.
Okay, how many times are we triggered in a day?
A lot.
You survived that. You said one of the things you're afraid of, well, then I'll get triggered. Okay, we get triggered all day long. We embarrass ourselves all day long. At least I do. I don't know about you. My trust in myself and my faith challenged every day. I don't know with you, I'm just speaking. So all these things you're talking about, I'm saying well, I don't know about you, but I actually feel that on a daily basis, that I'm here, I'm okay, I'm kicking, I'm moving forward. Mm-hmm. So what else? So after all that happens, then what happens? What else are you afraid of?
The judgment. I mean, I think that's the word I keep hearing, is judgment.
Okay. So someone judges you falsely. They misjudge you. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's all I see.
And that means?
That's all I got.
And that means, what does that mean? What does somebody misjudging you mean?
I feel like they'd be talking about me, maybe saying that I'm crazy or things like that. Literally all I can think of is the word judged and talked about.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And criticized for the way I want to live my life.
Okay. And do you think that happens to you anyway?
Mildly, because I don't feel like I've made that bold step yet to find the people that are meant to be around me. And does that make sense? Like, I feel like I haven't made that bold step. I've been a people pleaser. I've kept everyone at bay, so I'm accepted by everyone.
Yeah. So you're playing very, very small. And I'm saying that boldly with love because I know you more personally. Sorry. I don't know if I would be that bold to other people. But actually I probably would. So you just said a key word here. You said, well, I haven't basically allowed myself to step forward and work with the people I'm called to work with. So let's just play with that and lean into that. Are you called to work with people that judge, criticize, and gossip?
Nope.
Okay. So who you're called to work with are not those people. So here's what you're doing. To avoid the people you're not meant to work with, you don't work with the people you're called to.
Okay.
This is where we need to attract. This is the authenticity and alignment. When you agree with who God authentically designed you to be, and you align with it, you say yes to it, you boldly say, yes, I allow myself to receive all of this goodness. you lead from a very clear place that leads with purpose, that's so clear on who you're called to work with, that the moment somebody comes on your path that does any of that, you can just be like, I'm not called to work with them. I'm not called. And you just keep moving forward with just this focus and this power, that because you're look at it as like, oh no, that's not who I'm called to. I'm not called to serve everybody. I'm not called to make everybody like me. I'm not like, but I am called to this specific group of people in this specific spot in life who have this specific problem that I am called to help serve. Mm-hmm. And anybody else that doesn't align with that, bye. Love you, bye. Love you, bye. Like,
okay.
How you feeling?
Amazing.
Good.
That was incredible. That clicked.
Good.
A lot, and I received it.
Good. No more blocks. No more walls.
Yeah. No, that clicked.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. So it's so freeing when we can just be in such clear alignment with who we're called to be. And yeah, do you get triggered or whatever? But when you can just say, I'm not called to work with them, it's so easy to let go. And you were able to receive that. Oh yeah, I can let that go. I can let that go. That's easy to let go. That's easy to say, yeah, I love you, bye. Like,
yeah, no.
Thanks for stopping by. Go on. And they're not going to stick around. And honestly, because you're so focused on who you're called to be with and serve, it's like water off a duck's back. You're like, well, back to what I was working on. Mm-hmm. Now, do some things kind of shake you? Occasionally, but I think when you're really grounded from that authentic foundation, you really become steadfast. Like like things can come against you, but you're just like you're not moving. This is where you are stationed. This is your position.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. So takeaways.
Okay. My turn or your turn?
Your turn.
I would almost classify this as a true breakthrough, like where I don't feel the tension there. And I feel like for so long, I've wanted to be my authentic self and start speaking the way that I want to speak and everything. But I've been so afraid for everyone to like me. And that's the thing, is I'm holding myself back and playing small for other people that I'm not meant to serve.
Yeah.
And it's not my purpose. And my purpose is to be that bold person and be confident to those that I'm meant to serve, because that's who I'm going to be able to help. And I think this whole time, I think I was thinking that I needed to help everybody and that I needed to speak to everybody. And that's why I was craving that validation. And I wanted everyone to like me, rather than realizing that I have certain people in my life that are very like-minded, that I tend to connect with very easily, and that I feel comfort with, and that there's more people in my life that keep being brought into my life that is that same feeling. And I know that God is bringing them into my life for a reason. And I've been so focused on those other people, not wanting to upset them or what are they going to think about me, that I really haven't allowed myself just to let loose.
Yeah. Good. That sounds like amazing breakthrough and freedom.
Yes.
I can see it in your just countenance, body language. You look free. You look released. So
I feel it for the first time ever, you know.
Yay!
And I think for me with social media, where the breakthrough is coming through is I've wanted everyone to like me. I've wanted everyone to like my posts. But I do have a group of people that are always liking, commenting, responding to things. And those are the people that I'm speaking to.
Yeah.
And here I was trying to create this big brand for everyone. And maybe my brand isn't supposed to be as large for that matter. It's the impact that I'm supposed to make on those people versus just the quantity of people.
Yeah. And you might want to change your definition of impact. Impact does not mean broad. At least for me. I had to change my definition of impact. Impact and influence does not mean millions of people. I feel like I make profound impacts in people's lives sitting over a cup of coffee. And you have no idea the ripple effect that profound impact and how that multiplication effect can happen. You may or may not be the one on stage with millions of people, but the effect that you have still affects millions. You might not be the one directly linked. It could be lots of degrees of separation. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It's so fulfilling when you're like in that, I'm going to show up and make a profound impact in this person's life today. And you keep doing that with everyone God brings on your path, everyone you're called to serve, you keep doing it. And you're going to watch that it grows and expands anyway. Because you're changing people's lives. I mean, God's using you to do it, but still, that because you said yes to who He authentically designed you to be and what your purpose is, now He can use you to really flow and have some power and impact.
Yes.
And pay attention to, so now you can move forward in a different way. So what are some of the things you're going to do moving forward with how you market your business? Market's a trigger word for me. It's probably not for you. So how do you get the word?
I think for me, it's more the mindset. I think I need to remind myself that it's about who I'm here to serve, and it's not everybody. And so I don't need validation from everybody. I don't need validation from anyone, because the ones that I'm here meant to serve, I'm going to feel that connection right away. I'm not going to need a comment. I'm not going to need a like, because I'm going to feel a different connection with them. And it's going to be so much more fulfilling than something on the computer.
Yeah.
So I feel like that trigger, I feel that that's huge for me. I feel like that was a huge moment for me when I realized I don't need to make everybody happy. I can't. It's not possible. And for my whole life, I've always been told it's what everybody else thinks. Make sure everybody, that I've always been that way. And so, yeah, for the first time, I feel free to that. Like, I feel amazing to that. I also feel right now even more confident, more bold to be that person that I want to be, in a way of just letting my light shine versus trying to prove that my light is shining, per se. Just live life, just be, right?
Yeah.
I just want to be. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to calculate my steps to figure out how I can make this person see it this way, or what. I just want to be. And I feel very at peace right now, Stephanie. So thank you.
Yay. Well, it's a pleasure having you on as a caller. Truly, I love doing this. I love Breakthrough. I'm so glad you set that intention. I want to just acknowledge that and thank God that He honored that intention and really just flowed through me and you to really just release and get that breakthrough.
Yes.
Okay, so that was my call with Lisa. Thank you for bearing with us through the audio delay. And we were joking at the end that, I don't know if you noticed her husband, well, it was her husband, but this shadow behind her, like a guy peeking in the frosted glass door. We were laughing because it was kind of distracting to me to see this like silhouette of a person. But anyway, all was good. It was her husband wanted to get into the office to grab some papers. But anyway, so to review what this call was about. So Lisa was struggling for a really long time. It was like the battle between her authentic self, the God-given call to rise up and agree with and say yes to her authentic true self, who God created her to be, but then the ego, which wanted the approval of everybody, the acceptance, the validation to kind of measure her worthiness and value externally. So she wanted to stop the habit of living from outside in to living from inside out, because she was aware that the true power and true life fulfillment comes when you shift outside in living to inside out living. So here is what, and you could see that constant struggle and that fight, that battle. She was holding on to two things, and that was what I said. She had competing intentions. One, I wanted her to write that list of, I want everybody to like me, I want everybody to accept me, I want to be loved by everybody, I want to be praised all the time, I want to be the best all the time, I want to hit every goal every time, whatever that is. I'm not saying that was all her goals, but whatever that is for you. And then I want you to tune into what really you want, what's really deep down in there, what's authentic and true to who God is calling you to be. And that's going to be, I want to be whatever it is to you. Here it is for me. I want to be a light to the world. I want to be used as a vessel to set captives free. I want to be a mouthpiece to help transform lives and to coach people through a stuck point so that they can live authentically and fully and live this abundant life Christ died for us to have. At the same time, I struggled with, I want everybody to like me. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to tick anybody off. And the breakthrough happened when I worked with my coach, and the same moment happened with Lisa, when the truth is being very clear on who you are called to work with. Are you called to work with those people? When Lisa realized that she's not called to work with the people that take offense to the light or a positive life-giving message that will set you free. She's not called to change their mind and persuade them. She's called to the people that are specifically put on her path, that want what she has to give and that want more from her. And that's who she's called to serve. So having that understanding or that aha moment made it so much easier for her to let go. That was what I called the, yeah, love you, bye. Like you might get those people that you're actually not called to work with on your path, but it's so much easier to recognize, like, I'm not meant to work with them, or I'm not called to work with them. And you can do the, yeah, love you, bye. You just let it go. If you get, I'm not called to work with people that want to enter into a theological debate about scripture or whether the word is valid or not. And, I'm not really called to work with atheists who want to debate if God is real or not. And do some people not like that I talk about God and my faith? I mean, sure, there are occasionally those people, but I don't really necessarily engage with it that much because that's not who I'm called to work with. That's not the work I'm called to do, is become an apologetic or a theologist that debates that out. So being really clear on who you are called to serve makes it so much easier to recognize who you're not called to serve, and then be okay letting all of that go. So if you're struggling with this, write your list of competing intentions. Write what the ego wants and write what your authentic self wants. Look at it objectively, and then make a conscious decision to let it go. You saw that there was a big resistance. You would have some walls or blocks and stuff because it took a while to really get through and kind of work and navigate through what really was the resistance. She felt safe to let go the I need everybody to like me when she realized, oh no, I just need who I'm called to work with to accept me. And since I'm called to work with them, they will. And when she realized she was going to get that acceptance and that validation and that feedback from who she's called to work with, it was so easy to let everyone else go. So sometimes your soul or inner child needs something to replace that with. Because I think the fear may be that if you let this go, then you're never going to get it from anybody ever. And that's just not true. So work through that competing intention list, and then Pay attention. Ask yourself, like, do you need everybody's approval? Is that really true? Pay attention to your body resisting it or actually embracing it and receiving it. And kind of do that work. This may take some time to work through. It may be a daily ongoing practice, or you may see release. We eventually got that breakthrough and that release on this call, but you'll see that it took some time. Wherever you are in this process, pay attention to how I coached her. Ask yourself those questions. Is this true? Tune into the body. Is there resistance when you hear the word no and you have to give it up? Kind of ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need in replacement of that? What do I need to give myself to make myself feel better letting this go? So that is my encouragement to you. I'm going to write that worksheet on competing attentions. It's honestly, it's just going to give you directions on what that is and a printable, or you can just journal it out yourself. But until next time, have a wonderful life. Live every day to the fullest. Set your intention to break free and own who you are and live your authentic self. Own who God created you to be. Don't play small. Don't apologize for it. Be you. Be free. I'll talk to you all next time.